Greg, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
The SinglePoint has a portfolio of acquired companies covering some exciting spaces, including CBD and most recently, renewable energies. Talk to us about your current portfolio and investment strategy.
Well, thanks for asking. And I'm going to talk about the direct solar acquisition that we just closed last week. And we just found out today they did $340,000 in net revenue, with almost $140,000 of that being profit or EBITDA. So this is a really exciting company in the fact that their business model is like Rocket Mortgage or Vacation Rental. What they're doing is they're doing lead generation, and they go out and get the deal. Let's say someone wants to put solar on the roof for $15,000, and then they have installers in every state in the country. So this is allowing them to expand rapidly. And we bought this company with the idea that last year they did 1.5 million in sales. If they keep this up, they'll do 12 million. So we're very excited about direct solar.
That's exciting. What is the essential value proposition for investors? Why should they take an interest in SinglePoint today?
Well, the reason is we're kind of touting ourselves of the Berkshire Hathaway of the OTC market. So previously we funded a company called Convexium, who fills the little glass tubes for the vape industry and the cannabis industry. Well, they've since gone public. You know, our 9% is worth a lot of money. Their stock's, I think, at $1.50, $2. So that was a great investment for SinglePoint. We've also bought direct solar, which is in solar. So we are acquiring funding companies that we think are in hot categories like CBD, like solar. So that's why investors should really take a look at SinglePoint, because we've proven from end to end that we can go from an LOI and acquire companies, and we're starting to get good at it.
Well, how many companies are in your portfolio?
Right now we have about 4 companies that we own 51%. And of course, you know, in the public markets, if you own 51%, you can recognize the revenue. So that's one of our benchmarks. We have a LOI out with a company right now that is a CBD manufacturer. It's public knowledge. That should take about 2 months to close. That one we're going to own 100%. And we also have some companies like the one I described before, where we've invested, you know, maybe $200,000-300,000, and in that one we own 9%. So we're a little bit over the board on what we do, except one of the key things that we do is we need to buy 51% of these companies to show the revenue. So it looks like we're going to go from $250,000 in 2017 to 1.2 million in revenues in 2018, and we're tracking this year to do over 10 million. So we've been buying these companies the last 2 years, and we're getting more sophisticated, we're getting better at it, and we're really moving in the right direction.
A lot of upside going from $1.2 million to 10 million for investors. So in your model, did you sell off some of these holdings longer term to raise fresh capital? So once your current investments grow beyond a certain size, is that strategy then to sell them off?
No, the strategy really, you know, I've been involved in small businesses my whole life. In fact, I took a distribution company public on the NASDAQ in '96. So my thoughts and my narrative is that it's very hard to take any company from 0 to 1 million. It takes 2 years, 5 years, sometimes 10 years. So we're trying to use the power of our stock and the ability to raise money, because our stock has very good volume, to go into these companies where they're around that million mark, and at that point really feed them the cash that they need to get to 5-10 million. And that seems to be working quite well for us.
Greg, to recap, what's the main takeaway for investors? Why should they invest today?
The main takeaway for investors is SinglePoint stock has historically, ran up to 10 to 14 cents. And that happened first in 2014 because we were putting point of sale terminals in dispensaries in Washington and Colorado when they first opened up. So the stock really responded. Well, we had some unfortunate words by our former Attorney General Sessions that really brought most of the marijuana stocks and the cannabis stocks down, private or public. And then just recently, from our background, a very technical company, we do mobile payments, we do text messaging, merchant processing. Well, we got heavily involved in, blockchain and cryptocurrency. So last year at this time, our stock, went up to 15 cents and we were doing over $1 million a day. Well, unfortunately, Bitcoin went from 20,000 to 4,000 and our price went down accordingly. But what I can tell shareholders now is we're not banking on the flavor of the day, whether it's cannabis or Bitcoin. We're buying revenues and we're going to go and do 10, 15, 20 million in revenue. So we're moving up, fully reporting, going up to the NASDAQ. So we're separating ourselves from other companies now. We're going to be a real company and we're proving it. That's the main thing.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Great time to buy, going from 1 million to 10 million. Even if you go from 1 million to 5 million, it's a great time to own the stock. So,
well, we'll still talk about CBD and solar, which are very hot, but we'll be doing 15 million in revenue while we're talking about them. That's the difference.
Greg, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being on the show.